Toronto, Canada. The hardcover book closes as an aging mother gently touches the pages of a book, setting a serene scene. A cozy room balances the chill of the outside with the warmth from the inside, where shadows and light mingle in the evening's embrace. In a simple bedroom, morning light breaks through pine shutters, revealing a space of cleanliness against a backdrop of nature. Outside, a chorus of wildlife contributes to the vibrant tableau of Capreol, a town teeming with life and tradition. Here, community thrives through celebrations of hockey, weddings, and dances. The town's rich history is visible in its architecture, while communal landmarks stand testament to its spirit. Capreol's skies are a canvas for nature's spectacles, from solar flares to the northern lights, captivating all who gaze upon them. The daily dawn brings a melody of bird songs, accompanying the new day as it illuminates the landscape. This is Capreol, Ontario, Canada, a story of life, community, and the harmony between humanity and nature, celebrated with each passing day. Total. Let's go. Breaky and books and money exchange. Time is running out. Flight leaves soon, said Love as he cleaned the mess around the couch and glass table in the living room from the party the night before. Aha, said Total, slowly rising from his slumber, rubbing his eyes and stretching his arms. Fuck, man, let's go, said Love, shaking him again with a strong grip. Let me have 5 more minutes. I'm feeling lodged and dull like a lead pencil. It's tip rounded and worn down to its nub, said Total in a scratchy voice. Besides, I was having a good dream. Dream. The same one you have been telling me since high school. Whined Love. He replied. You know it doesn't really look like that. It's much darker, dirtier and boring than your imagination. But it's nice to dream. This time there was money everywhere, said Total, grinning and still, feeling no pain from the night before. For winter doesn't leave that place. It's stuck in time. Paralyzed. Yeah, because we have been shouting at you, shaking you, telling you we have to go exchange money at the bank before we get on the plane. We made an appointment and time is money. Besides, you know the bank gives the best rates instead of getting ripped off at the Voice and shopping malls, said Bobby as he came down the stairs freshly shaved and showered with his shirt ironed and looking sharp. Oh, you shit, said Total in realization. En nombre de Padre, de Hijo y de Espiritu Santo, said Bobby as he drank a Cool's beer, nose down, bottom up, chugging, glugging and bubbling with one hand on his pudgy hip and the other tightly gripped around the moist label. Ha, murmured Total, looking at Love who shook his head. He gasped and burped, with 34 of the drink gone and still sudding. What does that mean? Asked Total. You learning some new Latin poetry? Fuck no, said Love, clinking and clanking the bottles as he tidied the glass table. Maria is making him learn Spanish because they are getting seriously hot and heavy. Oh boy, a linguist, said Total as he rubbed his eyes and smiled. Not too sure about that. That's the only line he knows, and he has already been to class for a few weeks, noted Love, washing the dishes in the sink. I've learned more that, said Bobby as he grabbed some tissue from the box around Total, wiping some shaving cream from his ears. What else? Asked Total. Did you jerk off in this tissue? He asked Total, hovering over him. It's like bluish green. No, I just passed out last night, he said, shrugging his shoulders. Come on, what about this morning? You splattered your paint all over this. We all know it. It's ritual with you. Nah, man, you just woke me up, he said, sitting up straight and singing in a morning voice. Mess the house with gross tissues. Spill the wine and pop the corks. That's what lovey-dovey hates. Spread the wires and scratch the floors. Bobby continued. Throw the clothes and spot the mirrors. Leave the ashes and dripping cans. That's what lovey-dovey hates. So careful. Don't scratch or stain the plates. Fuck you guys, said Love as he wiped the table. Nobody likes a messy house. I'll work on the house and you work on your Spanish. Yeah, come on, Bobby, said Total, looking up with a smile. Sing me a word in Spanish, full accent and rollings R's and all. Sí and gracious, he said. Como teles vos. Nice. What does all that Padre nombre romantic shit mean? I loved it, said Total, moving his shoulders and hips smoothly. It's about christening the trip. You know, starting it off with a good prayer or omen, he said, taking another drink. I heard it at a wedding in church. What does the words mean? Asked Total. I'm interested. Stop talking. Grab a drink and let's head to the bank, said Bobby, pouring Total some wine out of a pre-opened bottle and into a spotted glass. Let's start this one out right. Total grabbed it, raised it up as Bobby said en nombre de Padre, de Hijo Whitey Espiritu Santo, and cheersed him. Nah, I'm not going to drink this trip. What? Repeated Love from the background. You're trying to tell me you're not going to drink for 5 weeks in Europe? It's 4 weeks, corrected Bobby. Whatever, said Love, walking into the room, drying a dish. That's possibly the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. Yeah? Why would you do that? I don't know. It's a good time to try it. Different atmosphere. You can support me. I don't have the pressure of the town or other friends around me. Besides, I pass out 90% of the time. That can't be good for me. Nor is it good for you guys. I am useless like that. I'm not supporting it. You're drinking, and that's it, said Bobby, clinking his glass again. Well, what else would you do? Not sure. I could be like the photographer. Or maybe write down the events in a journal. Or smoke weed. You can do all of that anyways. How does drinking stop that? You write stuff and take pictures anyways, said Bobby. Big Total traded weed for booze. Worked for him, did it? Asked Bobby with a half smile and tilt of the head. I'm not sure trading lung cancer for liver cancer is the best option. Try it for a bit. See what happens, said Love. Whatever, said Bobby. You won't last a day, he said, disgusted, as he grabbed the glass away from him and went to the sink. Happy birthday again, said Love from the kitchen. Oh yeah. Thanks, said Total, getting his pants on. Is it still June 16th? That's what my flight ticket says, said Bobby. How many did you have? Well, 1 in Japan, 1 in the air on the plane, and 1 last night. And I guess today. It's your day to shine, man. You be bloomin', said Love, drinking a protein shake. Thanks. Always near the last day of school. Ushering in the summer, said Total, putting on his hat. How does that work anyways? Asked Bobby. The sun shines on things, and they bloom, answered Total. That's good metaphor from Love. No, I mean the days and time zone and date lines. How the fuck is it your birthday for 3 days? Well, it's not 3 days. It's just a calendar, said Total, putting on his socks. Yesterday the sun rose on Friday, June 16th at 3 p.m. You guys were Thursday, June 15th while you sleep. I took the airplane as the sun rose and the earth turned okay, he said, holding a ball of tissue as a model, dipping it into the ashtray and placing ash on the opposite of the paper. You follow? Bobby and Love looked at each other and shrugged as they stood there watching in the archway entrance as the sun shone through the screen door. Okay, so the airplane flies toward the darkness Thursday 15th, but the darkness is slowing, turning into light Friday 16th. Because it's turning toward the sun, he continued, as he slowly wiped the ash off the dark side that was coming up facing his fist that represented the sun. I'm still confused, said Love, laughing. So you get a birthday during the day or celebrate Thursday night. Then party in the air, which has no time or day at all. Then party tonight, which equals 3 birthdays, said Bobby, slapping Love on the shoulder and winking with confidence. Discovery Network. Yay, that's it, said Total as his phone rang and Love and Bobby went to the door to put their shoes on and head into the Jeep. Hello, said Total. Hey chum, said Total's mother. Did you arrive safe? NTO Canada didn't call, so I was worried something might have happened. Yes, Mum. I arrived safe. I'm talking to you now. What did you think would have happened? Plane crash. Terrorists. Maybe you lost your passport, got sick. Maybe the border guards took you on false information. No, none of that happened. I'm not in a movie, said Total, rolling his eyes. Well, you never know. We live in a crazy world, she said. No, Mum. Your imagination is in that world. Well, I used to take you to the mall, and I would turn my head, and you would be gone. Vroom. Running down the aisle, and I would have to look for you. Should have had a leash. Actually, that's a good idea. I should market that. Yeah, maybe. Get you out of that department store. How was the flight? Pretty good. Had some drinks. Watched some movies. Had a nap. It's like a day on the couch. Gee, 13 hours is a long time to be on a plane. Did you stretch every 45 minutes like Mom told you? You could get varicose veins or an aneurysm if you don't. Yes, I stretched, said Total, breathing in deep. Hydrate? Did you hydrate? She said in a panicky voice. People get dehydrated on planes because they breathe out of their mouths. You were drinking alcohol. It dries you out. Did you have any salty peanuts? It will keep you hydrated. They give the miners around here salt tablets to stay hydrated. It's the law. Dehydration is dangerous. Salt gives you the illusion you're thirsty, but you're not. Yes, I was hydrated, said Total slowly, his palm over his eyes. Okay, you don't have to get mad. I was just concerned. It's what mothers do. We worry. Okay, Mum, did you take your melatonin pills? It's the light change that gives you the jet lag. Melatonin pills reset the rhythm of your sleep-wake cycles. B12 also. The shift workers should be taking that instead of the sleeping pills to fix their cycles. Sleeping pills have too many side effects. I left at sunrise and fell asleep in the dark. I should be fine, said Total, taking a deep breath and leaning his head back, looking at the roof. Okay, and happy birthday. We love you. Wish we could see you on your birthday. We will have a party for you when you get back. All you friends and favorite food and ice cream cake. Okay, thanks, Mom. Are you guys still going to Europe? Yes, Mom. Later today. Well, your granny's not doing so well. She went from the nursing home to intensive care and Dee and Aranie and Jeanette came down to see her. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Will she be okay? We are not sure. There is a possibility she may go septic, so they will have to do surgery again. Oh, I see. How is she doing now? Well, she is okay now. They will perform her surgery in 2 days. It's just that she has had surgery before, and it's a sensitive area now. It may be her last one. Well, should I stay? I mean, we have a flight in 3 hours. We are just heading out now. I don't know. It's up to you. I know you planned the trip, and it's short notice. She hasn't seen you in a year. She would probably like to see you again. You might lift her spirits. Let me think about it. How dire is she? Well, they won't know until the surgery. How's Dad taking it? Well, he is upset. Kinda quiet. Doing his own thing. Want to talk to him? Sure, said Total, clearing his throat. Big, you want to talk to your son? Tell him I said hi and happy birthday, said his father, a ghostly whisper in the background. Did you get him a Father's Day present from Japan? Sushi knife or something? You know he loves knives. Thanks for the green tea you got me for Mother's Day. Granny and I dunk it every night before bed. It's got caffeine, Mom. You're not supposed to drink it before bed. Well, it doesn't affect me. It's chemistry. It follows the same laws for everyone, unless you're an anomaly. Well, I guess I am. Same reason that one street light flickers when I walk past it. Yeah, I guess so, Mom. But what if the street light's bulb hasn't been changed by the lazy city worker? Maybe. But why does it change for me? Like, why does the cash machine always fail when I'm around? Anyways, you gotta go. Did you mail your dad the gift? Umar? No, not yet. I forgot with all my packing. Well, get him something from Europe. He would like that. Just make sure to send him an email. Okay, thanks. I gotta go. The boys are waiting for me in the Jeep. I'll call you back. Okay, love you, chum. So does Granny. It would be nice to see her again. Okay, thanks. Yay, love you too, he said, clearing his throat again. Oh yeah, tell Love and Bobby I said hi. Okay, I will. How is their house anyway? I hear it's very nice. Neat and clean. Yes, it is. We gotta go. Did they build a deck in the back? I was talking to Love's mom, and she said they built one out back. Must be expensive in Toronto. Yes, it's nice and expensive. Okay, we GTG. Okay, love you, chum. Miss you. We will have a good birthday when you get back. Okay, Mom. Is the basement finished? Well, I haven't decided on the floor yet. Okay, take care. Bye. Bye. Love you. Oh yeah, remember to. Click. Total hung up, put his shoes on and headed outside. He got into the Jeep to hear. Holy. Wow. What were you doing in there? We gotta go, man, said Love. Fuck, dude. Our flight leaves soon. I was talking to my mum. So what? You can talk to her in here while we are driving. It was private, said Total. We already know your parents were giving to a hard time about co-signing for an increase on your line of credit for Europe. Did they actually do it? Do they realize that we are leaving soon? 5 hours soon. If I hear co-sign again from you, I will lose it. Why is so difficult to put pen to paper? I mean, it's not his money. You have a job. You will pay it back soon. Well, yeah, of course. But he's from the old school of get a job, make money, get married, house, kids, work, save, work, save, work, save, retire and golf. Ja. But after all those years of making all that railway money, he's got to have tons, said Love, adjusting his shades in the mirror, head moving side to side. Unless he's throwing it out the window every day feeding the birds, said Bobby, flailing his hands out the window as he drove. Well, I think he's going to save some money, said Total with his head down in the back. Why's that? New job? Asked Bobby. No, I might not come on this trip. Total murmured. To the grocery store? Asked Love. No, the trip. The Euro trip, said Total, sitting up. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Why would you do that? To save your dad money? No, my grandma's sick again. Hasn't she been sick for many years? It's her stomach. She has to have surgery on it again. Oh, really? Asked Love. Granny G9. Said Total. Oh shit, sorry dude. When is the surgery? Asked Bobby. Not sure. She's in hospital now, and they will have it soon. Well, she is in good hands. They will take care of her, said Bobby. You can fly home if there is an emergency situation. But I haven't seen her in a year. It would be nice to talk to her while she coherent and somewhat healthy. Well, what you goin' and do, man? Asked Love. Don't know. I would to see her. I think it's a respectful thing to do. It's the right thing. It's just hard to talk to her these days. She quite depressed. She just sits there in her rocking chair, hunched over, saying one-word answers. All she wants to do is go home, but she can't, 'cause she can't take care of herself. Can't your dad? Isn't he retired? I don't know. He's not a nurse, said Total, looking up and placing his hands on the roof. So they would have to pay for a nurse. Yeah, and that's expensive, said Bobby. Really expensive. She continues to want to go home, and the only time she starts to talk is when I show her slideshows of my travels. Well, there you go. Here's the plan, said Bobby, looking in the rearview mirror. You can't rush to see her now 'cause she's preparing for surgery. Total sat there silent. Bobby continued. She gets her surgery, then spends a week recovery. The family visits her, then you come back and see her when she's fully recovered and show her all the pictures of Europe. Best trip ever. Best photos ever with your camera. If something does happen, your mom will email or call and you can fly home within 8 hours. Yeah, we'll be flying back in time, and with the wind so, it will be much quicker. I don't think it works that way, said Total, shaking his head. I know, replied Love. I was just trying to lighten up the situation. That's a pretty good plan, said Bobby. She survived surgery last time, correct? Yeah. But you're not supposed to get surgery too many times in that area. You could get septic. Think about the fun you're going to have. European girls, parties, beaches. Did I mention girls? Besides, you ordered a ticket already. Did you get cancellation insurance? I thought it came with it. Stated Total, confused. No, you usually have to purchase extra. Always extra, added Love. Shit. I will have to call about that. Think of all those historical sites, museums, landscapes. Adventures, laughs, hungover moments. Smiled Bobby as he stopped the car and took the keys out. You do like museums, said Love. You love them. There you go. There's a smile. Okay, we will go in the liquor store and you call the airline company and check how much it is to cancel, said Love, stepping out of the car. Total handed him the money and searched for the number of Expedia on his smartphone. Bobby and Love got out of the car and headed toward the bank. Bobby reached back, put the keys in the ignition, and turned the radio on before heading toward the store. Total looked at the receipt and rules of his ticket on his browser and scrolled down to the most important line. Total thought to himself, deciding whether to visit Toronto, Canada is a dilemma. Memories of times spent with her, like those sunny afternoons on the porch, accompanied by the ambience of a Blue Jays game, remain vivid. Yet reality has cast its shadow. Grandma, once vibrant and full of life, now struggles daily, her strength diminished by arthritis. Despite this, I wonder if my visit could bring her some joy or comfort. However, doubts linger about my presence's impact. The bond and love she shares with us compel me to consider the importance of being there. It's been a year since our last meeting, and the sense of responsibility I feel, born from her love and sacrifices, weighs on me. I owe her that much at the very least. But amidst these whirlwind of thoughts, I can't help but wonder if my efforts would suffice, considering I'm just one person in her grand life. Total saw the document and receipt. Expresia itinerary number 1,452,873,480,2323. Airline ticket number 1,364,593,788. Maple confirmation course. City. Traveller and cost summary. Totalia 667.90. Taxes 600. Total 1,267.90. Travelling to Nagoya, Japan. Sat 11 Aug 2012. Sudbury, SB. Depart 11:45 a.m. Toronto years. Arrive 12:52 p.m. 359 km. 223 mi. Duration 1 HR 7 MN. Air Maple. Flight 7808. Operated by Air Maple. He scanned the document for the relevant line. This ticket is non-refundable. Cancellation of this will result in a charge of $450. Total took a deep breath. Fuck. He leaned over to use the tool that turned up the volume to listen to the poetic lyrics and harmonious tune that randomly played on the radio, but to him meant something. Total. Sent from my phone. Listen to the tales and romanticize. How we'd follow the path of the hero. Boast about the day when the river's overrun. How we rise to the height of our halo. Total was lost in the words until... Ding! The toaster oven on his smartphone notified him of a message. Hey, I miss you. You have been gone only a week, but it feels so long. Please speed up time and come back to Japan soon. Wish I could see you soon. Need your hug. Mommy. Sent from my phone. How was flight? Did you watch favorite movies? Read good books? Total looked at his phone, took a deep breath and started typing. Flight was good. Had some drinks with Lucy and Mike. Good birthday. Just getting packed for Euro now. Summer will go by fast. We will see each other soon. Talk again, take care. Total. Hey Pally, said Love, bursting into the door. Who you texting there, pimp? Mommy. Oh, how's that going for you, asked Love. Going to get married? No, said Bobby. He's marrying a North American girl. There are many North American Asians. Toronto is full of them. We need you back here, man. No more Asia fantasy land. The Kung Fu dream is over. Time to grow up. Yeah, man. Come back to the real world, said Love, staring at him. Real world, I said, Total, looking at his phone. Grow up. True independence is... What did she say? Does she want to get married and have a baby and stay in Japan forever? Said Bobby. Yeah, man. Be careful. You may be locked in forever, said Love. Your mom will not like that, said Bobby. Not at all, added Love. I'm not going to get married there, relax. This may be my last year there. You say that every time, said Bobby. You say you guys will visit every year. So when you visit, I'll come home. Deal. What's your GF saying? Is she your girlfriend still? Well, kinda. What do you mean, kinda? Said Bobby. I'm sure she not saying. He's kinda my boyfriend, he said, looking in the rear view with his aviator glasses. Well, she was complaining because I have a lot of vacation. Spring, summer, winter, fall, etc. And it's long vacation. I always travel on vacation, and she has to work. It's not a good matching of schedules and lifestyles. Okay, I'm tired of hearing the tragic life of a teacher, added Bobby. You're all the same. You get the most vacation on the planet and still complain. And continued Love. Well, I told her I was going on this trip to Europe, and I thought it was unfair to her. And we should break up because we have two different lifestyles and schedules. I love her and all, but it's not fair for her. Him having fun and partying, and she is working and stressed. She didn't like that him guessing. She said she needed me. She was depressed without me. She needs the support. Kinda need, don't you say, said Love. Yeah. Well, I tried to be calm and assertive, but she wouldn't leave it be. She needed to know I was with her, even though I was in Europe. Did you tell her all the girls you would be neeking? No, I didn't say that. I didn't want to cheat on her, so I wanted to break up. It's the honest thing to do. Well, you should have mentioned that. I didn't know I was doing that. Bullshit, said Bobby. It's Europe. What do you mean? You won't do it. You have a girlfriend. Yeah, I know. But I'm not sure. I had a bad experience with cheating before. Still haven't recovered. Not worth it, man. Can't turn back from those actions, like a pen without an eraser. So basically you wanted to break up. But she wouldn't have it, so you had to agree to the label of boyfriend-girlfriend. Said Love, leaning back in his seat and motioning his hands like a coach on a chalkboard to the sequence of connections. Yes, that's exactly it, said Total, nodding. But in your head you're single and are just being nice with the idea of a relationship. Finished Love, now turning around to stare at him for confirmation. Kinda, said Total after a pause. Not kinda. That's exactly it. Don't try to snow the snowman, said Love with a smile. Oh boy, said Bobby. Oh boy, is right, added Love. Total stared back out the window. How did your flight cancellation go? Asked Bobby, stopping at a light. Hum. The flight didn't work out well. It's almost half the flight cost to cancel. Half the cost? Asked Love. It's like $500 to cancel. It's $1,000 flight. Well, I guess you're coming, said Bobby. Not sure yet. Ha. You're coming, said Bobby. Cheer you up. Don't know. Bobby looked at him in the rearview mirror and then looked at Love. You got 6 hours to decide. It's coming soon. Yup, said Total, looking out the window. Don't tell your mom. Knowing her, she will pay for that cancelling just to get you home. Yeah, said Total, now shuffling through his phone. Here. This will cheer you up, said Love, as he threw a pack of condoms on Total's lap. The old horse skins, eh? Said Total, examining the box and opening it. You're going to need an umbrella in all the storms you're going to encounter, said Bobby. Ha, said Total with a squeak. They sell these in the liquor store now. Nah, some lady from the health unit was giving them away, said Bobby. Funny how the old wooden horse from Greece was like a virus in the city of Troy, and we use these to prevent viruses. Ironic, eh? Thought you said it was wooden, said Bobby. Well, you would need it wooden if you're going to cover it in that rubber, added Love. It's darn near impossible to get in there all soft and limp, said Bobby. Like trying to put up a tent with no poles, finished Love, looking back at them. The most ironic thing I have ever saw is that your dad bought a bicycle that has Big Horn written all over it. Yeah, that's good, said Love. Big Total riding a big horn. They have condoms that fit that owl horse cock in Japan, asked Bobby. No, not really, said Total. Putting those on is like trying to pull on those tight ankle jeans when they are wet. Bighorn turns white after a while. Yeah, man, way too much friction and tension, said Love. Japan makes you feel that way sometimes, said Total in a serious tone. Too big. Nah, like a virus or foreign body. I mean, my gauging card basically says I'm an alien. What's that? Gauging is like person who is foreign different, has stinky hair. Something like that. Oh shit, they think you reek? You kinda. I disturb the social harmony, said Total. Fuck up the language, break the rules, try to mix orders with food and drinks. Put the garbage in the wrong bin. It's almost impossible sometimes, he said, scrunching his nose in disgust. Ever more reason to come home, said Bobby as they pulled up to the bank. They pulled up to the bank and Bobby and Love got out. Bobby went around to Total's door, opened it, and said, Let's go, man. Enough with the moody broody. Well, I think I should stay. You're pushing me, said Total, his face in a knot. Well, I just want you to have fun, bud. I know it's best to go see your grandma, but I honestly think she needs her time to rest for surgery, and you can see her again when you're home. It's going to be depressing back at home. You know that. All we want is our little boy to be happy, not depressed. Besides, you're meant to go on this trip. It's all happening. That's why we are here at the bank getting euros. It's all meant to be. You know I'm right. All that feng shui kai shit. You don't believe in that. Said Total, you're the last to believe in that, or anything related to that. Said Total, a knot still in his face. Stop snowing the snowman. Yeah, I know. But you do. It doesn't require his bay leaf, just like gravity, said Love. You don't need to believe in gravity for it to exist, he said, giggling at his own absurdity. I stopped believing in all that, added Total, scrolling through his phone. In what? Asked Bobby. You being mean to be here. All that shit. Meant to be, synchronicity, numbers matching, telekinesis, pickaxe the force. All that wacky shit. Well, that doesn't help my argument, now does it, said Bobby, putting a hand in his shoulder. Why did you stop believing that, bud? Said Love, sitting down beside him with his arm around him. When I was in Korea, I was training kung fu under a master who studied his PhD in martial arts. I was also teaching at an English hagwon with an extreme atheist who keeps saying a plus B has to equal C every time I mentioned Buddhism, coincidences, kung fu powers, reincarnation, or whatever. I told you all that was hocus pocus a long time ago, said Bobby. Why would that formula change your mind? Asked Love. Well, when I said monks can move things with their mind or heal, or take punishment, he would say plug it into the formula. And, said Love, well, I used to think monk plus object moving equals telekinesis. So what, said Bobby? Well, my friend, said monk is tangible, but object moving isn't. You find evidence of a monk moving an object, then it will fit the formula. Monk plus moving object equals telekinesis. Okay, makes sense. We all knew that years ago, but good discovery, said Love sarcastically. I was pissed because he didn't believe me so. I went to different temples all over the country, training with monks, meditation, looking on YouTube and seer chin in books and the internet, and I found zero, nothing, nil, zilch. Sweet fuck all a pally. Ja. I was disappointed. He even offered to try certain experiments, measuring whether holding a word in our hands or a picture of a positive person, negative person would increase strength. Oh boy, wish that was on film, said Love. Yeah, we had pictures of Hitler in our pockets while we benched pressed. Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Stalin, the devil, Jesus, you name it. Let me guess, you found nothing. Ja, nothing significant. You think all those Olympic athletes would have known this and be running the 100 meters with Gandhi and Jesus and Buddha tattoos all over their body, breaking records left and right, said Bobby, laughing. Then you don't have to train anymore, adds Love. It's just about finding the best tattoo artists and pictures that give you the most power. That would be a sight, said Bobby. 100-meter dash and Bolt has pictures of Jesus flying out of his pockets as he rips past everyone. World record. Maybe some people would put the evil pictures in their pockets to get some angry energy going. That would be good. Anyways, my kung fu master said all that was myth created, just like all the other myths in the world. It adds a supernatural or mystical element to things. Well, not sure why you believed that in the first place. Like how many times did you try to use the force and not succeed? Huh, he said, staring at him. 100% of the time. Ja, I guess. But I blame my OCD and upbringing. We went to a Catholic school who taught us these miracles were real. We didn't really get a chance to test them out. I mean, in the history of the world and technology and cameras, not a single person has caught telekinesis, walking on water, psychic ability on film or tape beyond a reasonable doubt. Yeah, we know that. But why do you say you have OCD? Yes, when I'm tired, my imagination runs away on me, and I get kinda obsessed with these fantastic ideas. So tired total plus ASD plus mystical upbringing equals obsessed over fantasy ideas. You don't have ASD. ASD is about people having to step over cracks or thinking they have a disease or something, and they can't function in the world. Exactly. My ass makes me think I have ASD. That's the disease, argued Total, grimacing. But you don't have ASD. It's all in your head. All your stomach problems, all your aches and pains and worries, all in your head. Yea, I know. That's the nature of ASD. No, it's not, said Bobby in a whiny voice. All in your mind. That's what I'm saying, said Total. That's stupid. You don't. I think I have it a little, said Love. It's not my fault, though, when Rooney and Bobby leave hair in the sink after shaving and dirty dished and dust everywhere, while leaving lights on and doors open. Dude, we are just not as anal as you about cleaning it right away. Why would you wait? It's just going to stick and fester and stink, said Love, adjusting his shirt and licking his lips. Ja, it's a little anal. I mean, you don't really care about the environment. You just need to have the light shut. In the meantime, I save global catastrophe. So maybe the Earth needs a little more ASD or anality. Come on, man. Let's go and get some euros. Fuck. Total, come with us. Because if you change your mind like you will, I don't want to be trying to exchange things or lending you money at the last minute. Total plus indecisive equals unorganized. Total hopped out slowly, and all three of them walked toward the bank. Spare change, squeaked a man in a brown dirty outfit sitting with his wrinkled hat held out in his hands. Bobby and Love ignored him, while Total searched his pocket for change. I only have Japanese yen. Will you take that? Asked Total. Don't be giving your changes to those bums, added Love. We are on a tight schedule and budget. We don't like to be called bums anymore, said the bum. It's derogatory, said the other. We chose to be called. He paused and held up his arms to the sky. Socially challenged. No, no, no. I thought it was beggars, said the other in disgust. We agreed to go back to the original. No, that's derogatory also. You are all humans to me, said Total. Doesn't matter what language you use. Here's some money. The bum took the bills and coins and shook his head. Looks like Monopoly money, he said. It's worth more than Canadian money. Besides, beggars can't be choosers, he said and laughed at his own joke. Is it still a cliché if relevant? Get the joke. Doesn't even care. Money, money, money. Only thoughts. Have a bottle of Ole, Grey Moose, or Puff or Oxy High. Vicious cycle, added Love. Only Canadian money. All else is shit, he said, holding out his hat closer and shaking it frantically. I'll take it, blurted his equally dirty but younger friend sitting beside him. Smart young man, added Total. How did you get on the streets with that type of intelligence? You should teach your friend there about currency. Thanks, fine, sir. But all I know about currency is, either it's currently in your hands or it ain't, he said, hacking up a lung. Clever, said Total, looking at Bobby with a half smile. Bang, bang, bang. It's closed, says Love as he repeatedly tried to open the door, a fraction only to get jammed time and time again. Fuck. Why on earth is it closed? He said with glaring eyes and pursed lips. Well, it's a Saturday. Aren't banks closed all over the world? Banks were never open on a Saturday before. It frustrated me then as much as it does now. Hasn't it changed at all? Said Total, mouth and eyes rounded like Casper. Well, Bobby said it might be open. He works at a bank, said Love, glaring at Bobby now. So my bank is open on Saturdays. Guess it's the only one. This shitty one is late in the arms race, he said with a shrug. Why didn't we go there? Whined Total in annoyance. Love wanted to go to his bank so he would save on the machine fee at the ATM. It's like $1.50, said Total, nosed scrunched. I know, said Bobby, shaking his head. I knew we wouldn't have enough time, replied Love. It's all the way up the street. How on earth are people expected to do banking when the hours are not accommodating with the entire population's work schedule? Redirected Love. What do you mean? Asked Bobby. Well, the majority of people work 9-5 and the banks close at 4 and 5 p.m. I know. It's ridiculous, added Bobby. You have to take time off work or go on your precious lunch hour just to do one of the most important things in your life. That's why my bank is the best. So, Either you waste your highly needed break from the stress of work, or lose money by taking time off work. Doesn't make sense to me, said Love. Right, added Total. It should be open on weeknights and weekends when people are free. It's the only time we can think properly without stress or rushing with the current state of things. Money is important, last time I checked, added Bobby, voice rising. Sure is, especially when you owe as much as I do. Student loan $25,000. Car debt $5,000. Total $550. Mom $1,200. Mortgage $1,200. Love. Do you have that $500 you owe me? Asked Total. It's $450. He replied, looking down at his wallet as he arranged the bills from greatest to least. Outside in. You don't sound so sure, noted Total. Let's just get to a bank. I have it, said Love. How far is your bank? Too far, we don't have enough time. Fucking banks. Now we have to get money from the airport, said Total. It's the aliens, man. The angels. The Elohim, said the youthful bum in a loud, raspy voice as he lit up a cigarette. Excuse me, asked Total, turning his head. They's own all da banks over the world, and they design 'em to keep us slaves, he said, looking up with one eye, blocking the sun with his other hand. Mr. Bum, sir, you are aware you're in a human community. No aliens here. See, you know dem tricks also like us. Lend yous money and make you pay. Then yous out on the street like us, living in cardboard. That's the way all banks works, pally. Do you want them to lend it to you for free? Said Bobby. Huh, they's got you too. Why can they use your money to lend to others at a bigger price? Why don't they pay you for your money? Thems should owe you interests, he said, elbowing his buddy. How would they pay their employees' salaries and benefits and maintain the place, replied Bobby. They's have plenty. All those COs are raking in cash DR. And then they's fly round on dem private jets of theirs going to parties. They starts all the wars, they do, said the older bum, chomping away at his toothless gums. Seriously, said Total. This misinformation is what's wrong with the world. You can't blame aliens and make them a scapegoat for a faulty system. Looks around yous. Most of the seas peoples don't own their cars and clotheses and shops and tings and stuffs. It's all loaned and lented from the bank. They even starts the wars to makes the money. We was derer. Our uniforms and guns and food and tents and waters and all that's war stuff. Then they don't pays ye after you get all hurt in your body and heads. That's what they say anyway, said the older one. That's what who says? Asked Bobby. You know, them, said the bum. Well, I think you have been reading they magazine too much. Didn't you know it was all fake? You better stop listening to them, said Love, laughing. If your theory is correct, then why are you asking us for money? We are in big debt with the banks. We are in the minuses. Huge minus compared to you two clowns, said Bobby. How, replied the bum with a sneer look on his face. We are on average 20,000, while you, my friends, are a plus $25 in a hat, not counting the Ziploc bag you have creeping out of that pocket dangling change and cigarettes. We should be asking for money from you. Besides, don't you get unemployment insurance, said Bobby, or welfare from the provincial government? Added Total, or handicap pay, said Love, a little too late. How about this? Why don't you use that knowledge to start a little business on the sidewalk? Said Total, in his best teacher's voice, realizing he was speaking to adults and feeling slightly strange about it all. Sure, you guys could clean up garbage or make bracelets or read stories or sing songs, said Love. Yay, man, do something. It takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. Get on it, sneered Bobby. You have all day to learn. For fuck's sake. Get on the do something diet, laughed Total. 365 days of year with 24 hours in a day. Shouldn't take you two lazy bums that long, lectured Love. When I travelled to Vietnam and Cambodia, those people had much less than you. But they never gave up. They experienced genocide and war, and they are still plugging along with glasses and bracelets and taking pictures with snakes around their necks. Added Total, showing the bums pictures on his smartphone. Here's 1,000 yen, said Total, handing them a bill. About $12 Canadian. Stop spreading misconceptions or rumors from They magazine and use it to start a little business. We will be back to check on your progress in a month. We are off to Europe, said Love. Thanks, said the bums, looking at each other like they won the lottery. Bobby and Love started to walk away, while Total stayed behind. I'm sorry if we were rude, but you need the motivation. And another thing, it's humans in general that are corrupt. Not just one strand of DNA. It's our nature to strive for alpha male and female ship. Alpha what? Look it up, pack leader, said Total. Ciao. Total started to walk away as he nervously checked his pockets in case. He either forgot his wallet or was pickpocketed. He stopped dead, turned around and added, "Oh," and cut out the alcohol and cigarettes. It will really slow down your productivity. He winked at them and gave them the salute sign. God, that was lame. Being contemptuous with bums. Is that what my life has become? He caught up to Love and Bobby and put his arm around their shoulders. Rather not be touched, said Love as he slipped away. Come on, you pussy, countered Total. Bobby rubbed Total's hair playfully. Boy, are we special, said Total as Bobby rubbed so hard his neck bent. We just gave a lecture to 2 street bums. They deserved it with those stupid comments, said Bobby. Not sure why everyone is so intent on changing the names of everything. I mean, Christmas holiday is now winter break. Merry Christmas now has to be called Happy Holidays. Dwarves changed to midgets, to little people to stature challenged. They are still smaller than everyone. My school's grades have now been changed from percentages to A, B, C to rubrics of 1 to 5 and converted to a scale of 1 to 7. Jah, whatever happened to calling something as it is? You got 5 out of 10 on a test. That's 50%. The glass is 50% full. Yeah, I know. I don't give a fuck if you change it to A or B or 7 or 5 or fucking Z. You still completed 70% of it, said Love, his fists clenched. A retard is a retard is a retard in all languages, said Bobby. Look at this fire extinguisher. It's a fire retardant. It stops fires. The developmentally challenged brain has been stopped from development. Doesn't matter what word you put in front of it. It shows something has stopped like a fucking stop sign. Red equals stop. Well, maybe they changed the name, and it confuses people for a bit, until that original emotion or energy comes back. Then they change it again, said Total. Well, those bums are bums. They will probably always be bums. Sitting around talking nonsense and begging for cash with dirty beards and dirty clothes. That's it. Maybe not, said Total. Now they have a business plan. We just gave them a motivational speech for free that may have changed their lives. We should start a reality shows. Bums for big bucks. Sounds like a reality show for prostitutes. Added Love, smiling. Come on, guys. They are lazy bums who only understood 10% of what we said, noted Bobby. They are mentally ill, and that's why they are there. They are crazy. It's that simple. One seemed smart, said Total. If he's so smart, then why is he on the street? Asked Bobby. Life's pressure, maybe drugs, no family to help. Shrugged Total. Why does mental illness and conspiracy go together? Asked Love. Yeah, it's always. Global empire, or end of the world, or scam, or God is coming to redeem. Crazy bums screaming at the top of their vocal cords. Doomsday, Armageddon. Fire and brimstone and shit. Like Y2K, or deadly bird, or mad cow's feet, or pig virus, or yellow, or blue flu. Added Total. Or the world heating up, or sudden ice age, or meteors, or electromagnetic field reversing in the earth, or solar flares burning us all. Mind-controlling devices and all that, said Bobby. Guess it's part of the illness. They make good movies, though. Keep box offices paid and seats full, added Bobby. Maybe it's in our heads from church or movies or TV. From childhood to now, think of how much we listen to stories of doomsday or Chicken Little or Judgment Days of biblical proportion, said Total. Maybe. That's what I keep saying, added Love. If you have the author of Revelation reading in today's world, he could be locked up in an institution. 100%. Ha! For sure, giggled Bobby. That's why my dad put me in public school. He didn't want me brainwashed by all that. I have no idea how you guys went to that Catholic school. Well, I liked it. Not the religious part, said Love. But all the cool people went there. All the people we played hockey with. You were stuck with all the kids from the other side of the tracks. I liked the stories of Jesus and signing of the songs and Christmas traditions. Created an atmosphere. I didn't like the strictness, though. Jesus didn't seem like a strict man in the stories. Not sure where that came from, said Total as they got closer to the Jeep. What you talking about, Bobby? Said Love with conviction. You came to Catholic high school with us. Ye. But I came for the girls, he defended. Ha ha ha. Yeah, God is in the image of man or women, said Total, mimicking the voice tone and posture of a priest. That's what makes God so beautiful. I'm attracted like a magnet. I love God, said Bobby playfully. Ha ha, you sure do, added Total. They walked up to a building with a brown rectangular sign, red elegant font. Tim Hortons it read. Named after a famous hockey player who battled and scarred his way through the National Hockey League, playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The door swung open, releasing a mix of aromas: fresh flour, hot soup, and sweet sugar. Stepping inside, the bustling coffee shop welcomed all. Business professionals in deep discussion, elderly couples laughing, athletes fresh from their run, and businesswomen multitasking conversations. It's a vibrant community spot, reflecting Canada's diversity, unified by coffee. Is this what our country is fueled on? Stated Total, who walked up to the busy counter. Shouldn't our government be watching and protecting what we put in our brains and bodies? Not sure they monitor that, said Love, reaching for his wallet. Well, they expect 8 to 10 hours a day of productivity, then a good healthy hour at the gym, then house chores and shopping. Then where's our free time to explore our how we sup? GV Untitled Alpapament, said Total with a French accent. I'm sorry, I don't speak French, said the worker with a dimply smile. No crow's feet. Dude, we are not in France yet. No need to practice. Just take her easy, said Love, shaking his head. Well, up north, we speak less due languages and sometimes mix them in. Flour mill style, said Total in a playfully. That's cause most of our town is French-speaking. Look at the names. Valcaran, Chelmsford, Lavac, Garson, added Love, flipping the bilsel in his wallet and staring at them intently. Well, we all should be fluent in at least 2 languages. Minimum, said Total. A majority of Europeans speak 2 or 3 fluently. We are not European. We are Canadian, corrected Bobby. We descend from them, said Total seriously. It would be nice to carry on a tradition and develop the language area of the brain at the same time. We learned French in school. That's enough. And Spanish in high school, added Love. Jar the grammar. Not the history, culture, or conversational skills, noted Total. What does it matter? We were exposed to it. Isn't that enough? No, it's not enough. It was light exposure. We should be deep into the language. It's embarrassing, and besides, it can help bridge gaps and ease xenophobia. Our country has many disputes over French and English. Are Quebec? They want to separate as much as a cancer patient from a tumor, said Bobby. Not funny, said Love, poking at Bobby. We can also learn the roots of words and make connections with our own language. Imagine if Canadians were known all over the world to be all bilingual, some trilingual, cultured, healthy, athletic citizens. That's impossible. You're going to have to change the entire curriculum. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm merely suggesting an option for a definition of who we are. It wouldn't hurt to know some First Nations language and culture also. Come on, now you're pushing it. Nobody will go for that. Keep dreaming. You would be surprised. There is some beautiful stories and art and history. It's where our nation came from. I went to one of those powwows on Manitoulin Island. It was pretty interesting and festive, added Love. Not sure if it's my thing. Can't figure out why they wear all that shit on them. Just stick to jeans and a t-shirt, maybe a blazer. It's the modern day, for Pete's sakes. I find them silly and old. Waste of my time, said Bobby. Well, a lot of our culture comes from them. Like lacrosse and our accent. Canadians don't have an accent. said Bobby with a snit. Sure we do. It's a mixture of French, English, Irish and First Nations, said Total, brow furrowed. No way, said Love, fluttering his lips like a horse. It's true. You can hear it the strongest when you leave the country and then come back in. Fuck that, said Bobby. Oh yeah, it's true. Overpronouncing the vowels, saying A at the end of 90% of sentences. Talking very slow. Haven't you seen Doug and Bob Mackenzie or any other comedian making fun of us? No, said Bobby. They are exaggerating for comedic effect. I'm from Toronto, eh? Where are yau fruum, eh? Said Total, squishing his face and breaking his posture. Haha, Total and Love started laughing and pushing each other. You guys are retarded. I have never heard a Canadian talk like that. Besides, we are from everywhere, so the accents change, said Bobby, laughing and leaning back. Keep telling yourself that, Pally, said Total, mouthing cussing under his tongue. Would you guys just shut up and order? Barked Bobby. He was talking first. Laughed Love. Just to get back to the point you idiots started with. These companies are trying to make money. They are not concerned with your health. They buy cheap flour and sugarcane and create delicious treats for us to buy and enjoy at an increased price. That's how business works, Total. Buy low, sell high. Simon, figure it out, lectured Bobby. The line dwindled, and they strolled up to the counter. Love ordered an everything bagel with cream cheese and a half coffee, half hot chocolate. Bobby ordered a strong coffee black with chili. Total asked for a soup, salad, and a peppermint tea. Why are you ordering that pussy meal? Have some substance, commanded Love. Total looked at him with a circular eyes and mouth. Well, you're a PE teacher, so you should know this, but I will explain anyways. First of all, I'm gluten intolerant, lactose intolerant, sugar intolerant, Band-Aid intolerant, and grease intolerant. Everything is basically flour, sugar, and milk in this whole establishment, and I'm ordering something that will give me pure energy and not upset my stomach. I thought you knew me by now. I am finicky about these things. Simon, my health is important. Your health is important? Seriously, countered Love. You have drank every single weekend since we were 14. How healthy is that? Added Bobby. Well, it's not, replied Total. I'm still working on that. I balance that out with other things, he said genuinely. That's why I want drink this trip. Yeah, trying is the first step to failing, joked Bobby. They all burst out in a cluster of laughter as an older couple looked at them with a stern, surprised expression, as if the boys had hopped on their mattress and woke them up after hibernating for a whole winter. What would you like with that, sir? Said the Timmy's cashier. Sugar and spice, said Bobby, pearly whites showing. The women forced a smile and slight laugh and said, No, seriously, what would you like? Well, 2 cream, 2 sugar. The standard, Bobby said, tapping the counter with his bank card. The boys grabbed their order and sat down in the booth. Why did you get peppermint tea? Isn't that what a grandma gets when she has stomach cancer? Don't you want a kick from the caffeine? Pushed Love. Well, yeah, but the caffeine hurts my stomach for days. It's not worth it. As they sat down, an older couple was across from them, sipping on chamomile tea and coffee. They sat there without talking as they waited for the cups to cool and settle, while the heat of the brew created a swirl of steam in the air. It was as if they came to this coffee shop daily to just discuss general, everyday normal things and expect not to be disturbed. This was okay with them, but not okay with Total. I don't want to ever get like that, randomly blurted Total. Like what? Bobby said with annoyance. Well, they are talking about normal, general things, said Total. That's boring. Boring? Well, maybe it's not boring to them. Maybe it's interesting and exhilarating, countered Love. Really? The weather is exhilarating to them. That's fucked, snapped Total. Well, maybe everyone doesn't think of crazy shit like you, replied Love. Well, I don't think it's crazy at all, countered Total. I think that everybody has these things on their mind, but are afraid of expressing it. Things like what? Said Bobby. Well, for example, he said, leaning forward, elbows on the table, on his toes, knees shaking. This old couple, they may have met each other in high school, created a back-and-forth relationship in which one person pursued the other, and then they switched roles until they finally came to a spiraling end in which they now dull themselves with boring conversation. and secretly wish they were somewhere else, and maybe with someone else. Total took a deep breath and sip of tea. When we come in with our youth and humor, they see themselves all energetic and healthy. They don't like the reality of being old, so they project those feelings onto us. Lectured Total. You're insane, you know that, said Bobby. Jack, maybe, replied Total with a laugh and smirk. How do you know that they are not sitting there, thinking the same about you? Pointed out Love. Do you think you're the only clever one? You said. Bobby jumped in. What if that old couple is saying the opposite of you? That you're viewing your older, mature self? You're upset at your immature, disrespectful behavior. The truth is, you would rather sit there and enjoy your coffee all relaxed and talk about ordinary, everyday things. You're always saying that the Buddha and scientists find beauty in basic things like flowers and the sun and formulas, said Love. Maybe you're jealous of that and tired of chasing around for adventure. You remember what Macca always says. It's not the booze, it's the chase that kills ya. Yeah, I guess you're right, said Total with a drop in his voice. But you would agree with me that soon as you lose that sense of adventure, you slow down and become boring inside and die inside and out. But what I mean is, he sipped the tea too fast, burning his lips. What do you mean? Asked Bobby impatiently. That it looks as if they have lost the passion in their eyes. They are just using weather to try to create a connection and get through the day. Basically a band-aid to cover the pain. Enough of this deep talk. You only get 45 minutes a day with that crap Total, said Bobby. It's been 20 minutes and I guarantee you will be talking later about it again. So save it. I thought we talked about this, he said sarcastically. Ha ha ha. They all laughed. So Love, did you get with her last night? Asked Bobby, looking at Love. Well, what do you think? He said with a shrug in his shoulders, leaning back in his chair. Just tell us, come on. Why do you always wait so long to tell us? Said Total. I have to let the dust settle. He said, looking around the coffee shop. Dust? Come on, man. There's no dust to settle. We won't tell anyone, pleaded Bobby. Sure you will. I just heard you say that 1/3 of all human conversation is gossip. So by your theory, there is a 33% chance that one of you will blab, argued Love. Did you at least get to first base? Asked Total, cheekbones rounding. What's first base? Asked Love, his eyebrows lowering. Are you serious? Everyone knows first base is a kiss. It's universal, laughed Bobby. No, no, no. First base is touching over the clothes, argued Love. Touching what? Inquired Bobby. Boobs, legs, ass, whatever. But it's over the clothes, said Love, sipping his mocha and wiping his lip. Stop having a laugh and beating around the bush. Come out with it, would ye? Barked Total, his hands waving in the air. Tell us the whole story. We are not in high school anymore. Maybe, said Love, laughing and spitting out some of his mocha. Okay, maybe is good enough for me. That all you give us? Bunch of maybes. Gah, you are Mr. Maybe. What's second base if first base is only clothes? Mr. Maybe, said Bobby. Didn't think that far, did you? Second base is anything under the clothes and touching the skin. Of course. What, like feeling each other's breasts and muscle chests? Genitalia, hard peckers and wet pussies. Fingering and hand jobs. Yes, 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 but quiet, man. We are in public, said Bobby. Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, third, he whispered. Well, third base is anything oral. So your mouth is basically replacing your hand. Yes, that's it. Yeah, that's Bobby's favorite. I don't understand why you love heads so much, questioned Love with a confused look on his face. Why wouldn't you? It's like a super massage on your most sensitive area. It's amazing. I could get it all day. Ha ha ha. You are fucked. What about a home run? Asked Total. Well, that's easy. A home run is sex. Full-on sex, said Love, putting his left index finger through a loop he created with his right thumb and forefinger, looking around suspiciously for any onlookers. Ha ha! That makes sense, said Bobby. Grand slam, asked Total again, leaning forward. Well, I guess that's an orgy, answered Bobby. Must be good. Ha ha ha, they all laughed out loud. They are hard to get. Very rare, pointed out Bobby. Apparently they are rare, but not on YouPorn. They happen all the time, Haha, that's the fake world of Hollywood. Haven't you heard the song Californication? Yeah, love that song. It all makes sense. If you start backwards, with the most you can do sexually, it's sex. Thus a home run is sex. The next best is oral, so that's third base. Next is touching under clothes, which is second. But why did we leave out kissing? Or holding hands? Says Total. I guess that could be first base. It's very intimate and romantic. It takes a lot of skill and connection, says Love. Like a dance between two people with their tongues and lips. It's the gateway to the rest of the bases. Added Total. Although some people get on by walks. Yeah, patient people or guys with money. Why does it have to be just guys? Girls pick up guys also. Yes, true. But they use different techniques we won't discuss now. Well, wouldn't kissing be just in the batter's box? Nah, the batter's box is just getting on a date. It's hard to make a team and get in the starting lineup, just like it's hard to get a date, said Love. Especially with a high-class team, pointed out Bobby. Plus, it takes a walk or a hit to get to first base. Lots of patience, strategy, timing, and a mechanically sound pretty swing that connects the bat and ball and eventually finds a hole past the defense. Rapped off Total. Haha, well put. Excuse me. Could you keep it down? Snapped the older female manager who was walking by and overheard. You guys are disgusting and immature. What's disgusting? Talking about sex, defended Total. Yes, as a matter of fact, returned the waitress with her chin up, voice stern and hands on her hips. Total's eyes widened, sat up in his chair, cleared his throat. The boys knew they were in for a rant. Sex is the most natural thing in this universe. It's how we all got here from tiny organisms, flowers, insects, mammals, and humans. It's all about DNA and dice. Every organism is driven by this force to move forward and pass on its DNA. Geez, added Love. You can see this happening all around you. Think about it. You have a job because you need shelter. You need shelter to keep your health and DNA safe. The job also provides you with collateral to buy food, materials to exercise, clothes, and entertainment. The food keeps you healthy and attractive. The clothes, makeup, and perfume all enhance your chances of increasing your attractiveness and magnetizing a mate. The mate will lead to mating, marriage, and a reproduction of DNA. He paused to check if they understood. Their eyes were wide and lips pursed. He continued anyway. It works the same with any males in nature. Buying clothes, cars, body enhancers, and tickets to entertaining, mating meetings, hoping to eventually, mate. This cycle will go on and evolve generation by generation until we are extinct. But even if we are extinct, then some other organism will use the method, he said, taking a drink. That's very clever, but very robotic, replied the manager. You really sucked the romance out of life with that, didn't you? Good luck finding your mate with that attitude. You are at the level of a monkey. What happened to holding hands, candlelight conversations on a swing, or watching the sunset over a lake? Not to mention massages with sensual oils and exotic music. She said, nodding her chin slowly, her head tilted back. Closed her eyes and lips as it biting her tongue and flashed unilaterally out of the corner of her lip. Don't men ever think of the art behind it? Or do they just see targets like ancient cavemen that they need to stick their arrow into to pass on their DNA? Now please change the conversation, or you will have to leave. Total looked stunned. Haha. She got you, said Bobby and Love with giggles in their gills. They gave the waitress a high five as she walked away with a glow in her eye and a crooked smile she didn't try to contain like a schoolgirl sticking out her tongue. Was that your pickup line? Said Love. Nah. I was just educating her, said Total, biting his lip frantically. Sounds like she educated you, said Bobby, nodding. Haha, maybe. I wonder why she's just a waitress at Timmy's, defended Total. She's right though, said Bobby, picking up the loose materials and wiping the table. Total and Love looked at him confused. It's fun talking about it. But when are you two going to really settle down and stop playing around? Don't pretend you're all grown up and mature, said Love. Ja, agreed Total. You come and tell us that you got laid and had a good night of sex. It doesn't count when you have a GF. When it's like batting practice when you have a girlfriend. Geh, repeated Total. like an empty net goal. I'm just fucking with you guys. You know that, he said, laughing. They all chuckled and put their meal trays in the bin. As they walked toward the door, Total heard everyone chatting and looked at their drinks. Greens teas, herbal, coffees, espressos, mochas, and even cold orange juice all steamed and swirled at the same pace. They walked through the multicultural mall and across the street to the local chapter's bookstore. In the bookstore, they all wandered to different sections. Love strolled over to the romance and popular culture, Bobby to the business and sports, and Total went to the journal and diaries department. Love walked over to Bobby and said, I hope Total isn't getting any cookbooks or how to be a spy. Maybe he is getting the Lonely Planet book, to help guide us around. Yeah, maybe. I can't believe you're in a bookstore, Love. You haven't finished a book in your life. Yes, I have. I've finished like tons. How many is that? That's not even a number. Yeah, Love. Just because one book weighs a ton doesn't mean you read tons. Fuck that. We read a bunch in high school. Kill a Mockingbird, Macbeth, Chrysalides, Hamlet, Horatio, Juliet and Romeo, Who Has Seen the Wind, Jamie and Owasin Against the North, Hatchet. Okay. But those were guided reads. How many did you read on your own? Well, argued Love. The Leonardo Code, The Vitruvian Fortress, Sundays with Marty, 10 People You Meet When You're in Hell, he said as he scanned the store as he took off his glasses and placed them in the V-neck of his shirt, in between his rippled cleavage. 4, said Total, holding up his hand, fingers up, thumb tucked in. 4. Wow, that's a ton. You are just a bookworm, aren't ye? Said Bobby as he took off his glasses and put them up on his hat. They walked over to Total, and he immediately spun around with a brown leather-bound journal with a peach-colored string to mark the pages. Journal? You're getting a journal? Yeah. For what? To write your thoughts, dreams and feelings every night. No. I was thinking we could use it to write down the hostels we book, train stations, money owed, maps, locations and amusing things we said. Yeah, that's a good idea. We could also do a daily summary like when we are at the fishing camp in Minnepuka. This is sounding like a diary in which girls write every day. This is gay, teased Bobby, especially with that brown suede cover and fancy tassel hanging out from it. How are you going to pick up girls with that? First of all, it's not to pick up girls, and second, using the word gay is politically incorrect and insensitive. Corrected Total. Simon, I didn't mean gay in the homosexual sense. People are over that now. Besides, I always used gay in the context of lame or overly happy and giddy, and I intend to keep it that way. If I meant homosexual, I would have said homosexual, defended Bobby. Okay, point taken. It is very gay and lame looking, but I like it. It's artsy. Yeah, artsy is gay or lame or whatever. Bobby shook his head, scratched the top and furrowed his brow. Geez, now I'm all screwed up. I don't know what anything means anymore. It's probably because the pair of you are a bunch of idiots. You are like children. I have to explain everything to you. Well, I guess I'm gay then. Total said, blinking his eyes, knees bent and together, while hugging the book, looking like an anime schoolgirl. You guys are both lame, just talking about this. It's wasting all of our time. How about we have everyone else sign it, said Total. Who's everyone else? There is only 3 of us, questioned Bobby with a confused look on his face. No, man. Like everyone else we meet. They could sign it like a high school yearbook. Added Love. Great idea. We could also have criteria, like they have to put their name, email address, maybe phone number, or the first song that comes to their mind. Yeah. Or they could write a poem or draw a picture. Whatever they want. They can make an imprint in our book. Yeah, everyone's part of the story. Each chapter will be a different country. Chapters now. Sounds like a lot of work. The whole book will be just a book of chapters. That's all. Simple and straight. Created by everyone we meet. Sweet. I like it. How much does it cost? I don't know. Looks like $20. Yeah, looks like is the key. You forgot the tax. Oh yeah, Canada has taxes. Ha. That's hard to get used to. Oh well. It will worth it when we are done. Memories locked in. They purchased their books and headed toward the money exchange. Returning to their towering house, just as dark clouds overshadowed the clear sky, Total opened the wooden door. He bypassed the untidy living room, heading straight to the kitchen for tea. A leftover onion from last night's pizza caught his eye, its layers peeling apart like a Japanese fan. Meanwhile, Bobby rushed upstairs and Love began vacuuming, the sound filling the space. Total, finding a green tea bag, made his tea, its bitter taste mingling with the vacuum's hum. Total thought to himself, "Love the humming of the vacuum and dryer. Warm air it is. Abhor the clissakeeting and ticketing that rattles in the tube. Dust stuffs me up. Him too. Maybe that's why he cleans clock round. He'll never get the full lot of 'em. He'll try though. Suck it right through the floor he will. Wonder if the particles will just break and break and break until dust. Then more dust particles bashing until what? Annihilation." Total walked out the kitchen, snapping the screen door and walking out onto the deck, into the backyard. He looked at the rusty mercury thermometer and it read 30 degrees. The deck had been varnished since the last time he saw it. The brush was cleared, grass cut, and a new garden was placed around the edges of the fence, facading it for the autumn sell. The apple and pear trees were growing fruitfully at the deck stairs that led into the backyard. The trees swayed and fluttered to the pace and rhythm of the soft wind. Everything was placed precisely. No wonder everyone thinks Bobby are lovers, like an old married couple. Total sipped his tea, contemplating the stripe-patterned straw he had found in his pocket. Engaged in a moment of childlike wonder, he experimented with the straw, observing how its structure held tea despite pinching off the ends. His curiosity piqued. Glancing skyward, he noticed a plane cutting through the blue, its jet stream trailing into distant clouds. Circling the backyard past the fire pit, around the neatly trimmed grass, and by the recreational setups, he paused at a murky, algae-filled kiddie pool. Here, he unsuccessfully tried to rescue a struggling beetle, its efforts mirroring his own tentative explorations of his surroundings. With a resigned giggle, he abandoned the endeavor, stood with a hockey stick in hand, and resumed his leisurely walk, tea in hand. Squeak, scrunch, thump. The essence of movement. Nesta whispers the wind, carrying the scent of adventure. We live submerged in an ocean of air. Total recalled Granny's words about traveling to Portugal when she was young, with Grandpa painting a picture of her journey abroad. A tale of romance, of explorations across castles and oceans under foreign sunsets, of discovering new tastes and melodies. It was a story of transformation, from the reluctance to leave Ontario to the bold adventure in Portugal. Granny's adventures speak of learning, of understanding similar yet distinct languages, of embracing the unknown. Here Total stood, wondering, pondering about everything from the mundane to the profound. What's in a name? A tree, a deck, maybe in Spanish, or perhaps the essence of being in the simplicity of silence. Closing his eyes, I see not darkness, but a world sparkling with thoughts. I ponder on life, on death, both natural and complex. Granny, once vibrant, now frail. Yet she believes in the spirit's eternity. A poem I wrote, a piece of my heart, yet it seems not enough. Maybe one more conversation, one more chance to brighten her light. In the quiet, with eyes closed, there's peace. I tap forward, each step a discovery, each breath a new scent. With a final tap I sit, the world sprawling before me, rich and unspoken. "Hey, Pally," said Bobby, bursting through the screen door and onto the deck with another beer and in a towel. "Get your levels up." He walked down the steps and slapped him on the back. "Daydreaming again. I was thinking about how dirty your pool is," said Total, slowly opening his eyes. "Well, yeah. That's the downfall of having a kiddie pool," Bobby said, leaning over and grabbing an edge. Made squeaky rubber sound, the water slapping and slopping against the edges and itself, mixing all the greens and browns and blues together. "It's open to the elements with no chemicals to save it. You could cure cancer with what's in there," said Total, staring at Bobby. "Looks like a whole new ecosystem you have brewing in there." "Oh yeah. How about now?" said Bobby, sad as he flipped the pool over and drained all the water, watching it splatter and slush and rush onto the grass, racing all over the yard in streams and tributaries, making its own pools, carrying all the vascular plaque-like waste with it. "That's the beauty of a kiddie pool, easy to clean," he said, slapping the edge and smiling. You could have poured it under the deck, said Love as he approached in a towel and hose in his hand, biceps bulging. He stood there above them, a clean towel neatly tucked under his belly button, under a washboard of abs, leading up to pecs that were tanned and shaved. Who cares, countered Bobby. We are moving anyways. It's just water. It will help mend that burnt patch of grass you created with that fertilizer spray you fucked it with, said Bobby, looking over his shoulder and pulling the pool closer to the deck. Fill her up. Love stepped closer to the edge and started spraying the water into the pool. Take that nozzle off. You are never going to fill the pool with the gentle spray setting, said Bobby, laughing and looking at Total. Oh yeah, said Love, twisting off the handle and placing it gently on the glass table. Love reached over the railing and hung the hose. The water spattered against the wrinkled bottom, splashed up and pooled against the sides in circles like a bartender filling a pint, a gas attendant filling a tank, a monk pouring their tea, a waterfall filling a lake. Bobby went to grab some more drinks from the kitchen and came back outside with beer, wine, spirits and more friends. Following behind him was his girlfriend Steph, Yui, Lefevre, Rooney and Chanty. Hey boys. Looks like you're hitting the beach a little early, said Yui, holding a beer in his hand and twisting off the top. Love's trying to get a darker tan, said Lefevre, sitting down with his guitar and putting his beer on the table. I don't know if that's possible, said Yui. He's a few shades away from being born near the equator. He could just have the DNA that gives him the extra melanin, said Total, as Bobby handed him a drink. Totes. What's up, said Yui, walking over and shaking his hand. I didn't see you all curled up there under the deck. Thought you would be drunk and diving off the roof by now. After 2 drinks he will, said Rooney, taking off his shirt to reveal a lobster burn. I will be right behind him. Not if you're digging into the protein powder first, added Love, putting the finishing drops in the pool. I'll dig into the protein powder, then wash it off in the pool. Make it an even crazier party, he said, chugging the bottle of vodka straight. Someone's got to be the spark at the party. It ain't gonna be Love or Bobby. Fuck that, said Bobby, taking off his towel and standing on the corner of the railing, like a pro wrestler at the turnbuckle, about to perform his high-flying finishing move and saying, En nombre de Padre, de Hijo y de Espiritu Santo. Then jumped into the pool with a big, kerplunking cannonball, causing the boys to put up their arms and knees and squint their eyes at the incoming water that burst onto them, the deck and yard. That was a whale of a dive, said Yui, taking a drink. The judges hardly noticed a splash on the entry. The trip officially begins, said Bobby with a chuckle. Nah. I think it begins when the plane takes off, countered Yui. No way. I just started it, say Bobby. With a bang, he said, pointing and shooting at Yui. So you excited to go? Said Lefevre, looking at Total and tuning his guitar. Not sure if I am, said Total, pursing his lips and breathing deep. What do you mean? Said Yui, one brow down, the other up. Your plane leaves in a couple of hours. You better decide quick. Why would you not go? Asked Lefevre, tapping his foot as he plucked and tightened the strings. My grandma is sick, and I haven't seen her in a while, said Total, gazing down, lower lip pushing up. Might be my last time. Oh, sorry to hear, said Lefevre, hugging his guitar and looking up at him, eyebrows drooping slightly. What will you do? Cancel your ticket? The whole trip? Just go home to see her one last time? Asked Yui, now taking a sip of beer with a furrowed brow. Yeah, I guess so. My mum thinks it will lift her spirits. How serious is it? Asked Yui. Well, she has to get surgery on her stomach for the 2nd time. This is troublesome because it's a repeat surgery. You haven't decided yet? Asked Lefevre. No, just thinking, said Total, placing his hand on his forehead and rubbing it. Gah, that's a tough one, said Yui. Well, you will definitely save a lot of money by not going, and I'm sure your grandma and family will be happy to see you. Yeah, for sure, agreed Lefevre. But you will be potentially missing out on a trip of a lifetime, added Yui, holding up his hands like a scale and tilting his head back and forth. Duh, said Lefevre. It's not often 3 best friends are not married, have vacation at the same time, have no kids, have enough money, and are adventurous enough to travel the world. Might be a one and only chance, added Yui. Why don't you call her and ask? said Lefevre. I did. She was sleeping at the time. It's hard to talk anyway. She is pretty depressed and quiet. Doesn't really seem like her. Well, you have had thousands of conversations with your grandma before, said Hughie. She's getting older. You can help your family when you get back. She may have wanted you to travel. She's a really kind woman. I used to sit with her, watching the hockey games when I was suspended. She has seen enough of you, trust me. Ha. Duh, I guess. She inspired me when I was young, with her stories of Portugal. Are your bags packed? Passport? Wallet? Visa ready? Asked Hughie. Yeah, with photocopies of visa, driver's license, plane tickets. Yeah, laughed Toto. Why? How did you know that travel trick? I told you about it. Not my first picnic in Europa, said Hughie with a wink and a sip. What's this? I hear you're not going, said Rooney, bursting into the circle soaking wet and chugging the bottle of vodka. His face scrunched and contorted at the nose. Well, I was thinking, you damn well better go. Do it for me. For us. Besides, you know these two guys will be lost without you. They will just keep it conservative and simple. Sipping on wine, nibbling on cheese, taking postcard pics and going to bed at sunset. Fuck that, said Love. I'm already drinking. Leaning back in a lawn chair and holding up his beer, sipping corrected bobby head tilted back and looking down his nose. As always, you don't even have a drink, countered Love, mirroring his expression. Just dove in the pool. Kinda hard, he yelled back, shoulders shrugged, palms up in the air as he stepped out of the pool. You two sound like an old married couple. Yelled Hughie, just hug and make up. See what I mean, total, said Rooney, putting a hand on his shoulder. The trip will suck ass without you. You know they won't do anything exciting but bitch and whinge. You have been back home a million times. It's the same thing. Have a drink. Get on that plane and make things happen, he said, lifting the bottle and pouring it down Total's mouth as Total glugged and gagged and gasped the spirit out, wiping his mouth and coughing profusely. Woo! Yelled Rune as he jumped up on the turnbuckle like a macho man, chugged the drink and attempted a front flip only to land, smacking his back, but holding onto the bottle. Hey, Love. All your girls are going to miss you when you're gone, said Lefevre. Can we take care of them while you're on Euro experiment? Asked Hughie. Eyes alert and brow lifted. Nah, you couldn't do the quality service I perform, countered Love, and it's too late to teach you now, said Love, the corner of his mouth pushed up. Rooney smiled a triangular flash of teeth as he stood in the pool, the bottle half full, and held it high like a trophy. The deck was alive with laughter and animated faces, everyone's eyes sparkling as they raised their glasses in a toast. Steph, with a flick of a match, brought the chimney to life, casting a warm glow over the scene. Chanty, moving through the crowd, offered Total a glass of wine, a gesture that felt like the embodiment of camaraderie and joy. Thought you weren't drinking, said Love, his lips pinched and tightening his head. Well, Rune ruined that, he said, with disappointment. I'll start in Amsterdam. Less distractions. Ha! I know you wouldn't last, said Bobby, drying himself off and heading into the kitchen. Guess not, said Total. Taking a drink, his toes raised in the air. I've got a tune for all of you, sung Lefevre as he strummed the guitar and knocked the body, closing his eyes as he sang. This one goes out to the boys, as they embark on their journey, you see, as they are having fun. Strum, strum, knock, knock. Love's girls at home, gonna suffer. They be pining and whining and maybe dining with guys like Hughie. When he returns, they gonna ask him a question. They gonna say, who in he? Did you miss me? Did you miss my hoo-hoo? The deck party all laughed, chuckled, slapped each other, keeled over and shook their heads in amusement. I know you went to the land of the lovely chassis. But honey, did you miss me? Did you miss my hoo-hoo-o? You drank and danced and grinded your stick shift. But honey, did it miss my gears? Did you miss my hoo-hoo? You looked and stared and fantasized at those other shiny, fine-tuned cars. You stepped on the gas. You popped their clutch. But honey, did you come home to ride my Cadillac? Did you miss me? Did you miss my hoo-hoo-o? They all laughed again, causing Lefevre to laugh some more and stop the guitar and grab a drink. Bobby went in the kitchen, talking on the phone. Fuck guys, complained Love. Why does it always have to be about me? His lower eyelid shut more than the upper. "'Cause you don't do anything, love. So we have to make the story for you," said Rooney, his eyebrows frowning and rising at the same time. "I do things by not doing them. I'm in the background. Geez," defended Love, laughing as he drank. 10 born points, screamed Bobby at the party on the deck while crashing through the screen door. "What are you yapping about now?" barked Love. "Jah, what the fuck are born points? And how did you get 10? Chimed Huey. "And why 10, not 20? Said Steph, shaking her head, palms up, looking around at everyone for approval for. "I don't know. I just made it up," replied Bobby. "Made it up from where and what?" said Love. They all turned their heads and tipped their fancy glasses to hear his response. "Like all those secret agent skills," said Bobby. "Skills? Like fighting skills?" asked Love. "Well, yeah. They seem to kick ass with all that kung fu shit. But they also have 10 passports with different names, guns hidden on planes and airports, cash in foreign accounts, secret gadgets," continued Total. "They know like 10 different languages fluently, dress in the most expensive clothes, drive stick and seem to have women hanging off them at every port. Yeah, and they seem to defy death many, many times," added Love. "They sure do," said Total, sitting up in his chair. "Those are just movies. You know that, stated Huey. "That's why they are so successful. They have writers and stage managers and wardrobe designers. It's all imaginary." "I know," said Total. "I'm not 100% loco. Geez, man, I'm trying to agree with you that it's a good model for us as we travel. We need to be open-minded, quick-thinking risk-takers if we are going to be successful on this trip. So you are coming now, Total?" said Love as the party all leaned toward him waiting for a response. Total breathed deep, dipped his head, showed the iris of his eyes before he downed the rest of his wine. "That's a yes," said Rune as he finished his. "Well, as long as you don't turn into a Jedi Knight again like in grade 9, said Bobby, standing up in his chair. "God, that was embarrassing. Everything that was long and straight turned into a lightsaber." "It's saber," corrected Total, "like a samurai saber. You know, sword," he said, holding up an imaginary katana blade. "Whatever. Just don't do that on our trip. Or I'll leave you on an island with that little green guy." "Yoga. It's Yoda," said Total, nostrils slightly flaring. "I know, I got it wrong on purpose," said Bobby, glaring. "'Cause it's stupid fantasy shit. Only nerds like those movies. You are a sports guy. Straighten up." "It's okay, Total. Bobby is just always on the dark side," said Huey, placing his hand on Total's forearm. "Yeah, the force is weak with him," agreed Lefever. "Very weak," said Total, taking a sip and gargling. "Weak as Love's dog," snickered Bobby. "Shut up, would ya?" snapped Love. "So how did you get 10 of these so-called born points already?" "I took the most important step." "What's that?" asked Total. "I called a cab," he said, checking his pockets for his wallet and smokes. "Oh, okay. That works." 10 born points for you then," said Love. "Good thinking," added Total. "Just glad you're officially coming," Bobby said, laughing and saluting his drink. Total tapped it back weakly. "Sounds like you're all a bunch of crazy coyotes," yelled Steph, laughing as her dog jumped off her lap and onto Total's leg. "What's her name?" asked Total as he sat her down and petted her head gently. "Her name is Sasha. She's just a puppy. All she has been doing is running around the yard, sniffing at flowers, eating wood and peeing on posts. Yeah, that's what my Shih Tzu did when he was a puppy. Tones of energy and curious about sniffing every corner, hydrant, grass blade, anus, crotch, cupboard, garbage. It gets annoying," said Steph, cutting him off as he waved his hands in the air to every action. "She will calm down over time and eventually just lay down on couches, floors, laps. You know," he said, dawdling his speech and gazing at nothing. "You know, chilling out with no care in the world. Just happy to be existing," he said, smiling and taking another drink. "Ah, the life of a dog," said Love. "That's not entirely true." "Love's dog never calmed down," countered Bobby. "She was scared of her own shadow. Shaking at the sound of rain, for fuck's sake. Come on, man. My dog's cute, and besides, every dog gets scared of thunder and rain." "No, no, no," said Bobby, shaking his head and pursing his lips. It's terrified of the whole world. It's like a little rat. It's a Yorkie, and she's adorable, defended Love. Just because your dogs are big and black, and they slobber and bark at every single thing that moves doesn't mean they are tough. His eyes glare and head shaking in disbelief. They completely freak out when anyone comes to the door. Scares the shit out of everyone. That's fear, man, barking mad dogs they are. Ja. They are doing what dogs are supposed to do. Protect their territory. Defended Bobby. Ja, exactly, said Love. Their nervous and excited barks indicate they are scared of intruders taking over their territory. Did I mention I said scared? That's not fear. It's instinct. That's psychology 101. Or 2 or 3. It's one of them, added Total, giggling. If they were not afraid, they would greet all visitors with a sniff and cuddle like my dog. You know, nice and soft and gentle and cute, not like slobbering maniacs. Okay, guys. Let's get outside the cab, we'll be here soon, said Total as he opened the door to the kitchen. They took their bags to the front door and waited on the street as the party followed them slowly to the door one by one onto the small patio in the front and stood under the address sign. 8 Regina. The cab pulled up and they loaded their bags inside. They walked back up to the patio, said goodbye to their girls with hugs and kisses and shook hands and brugged with Lefevre, Rooney and Huey. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, said Rune as they walked away. Rune, said Love, turning around. You get into fights, wake up in farmers' pickup trucks in Mexico, end up at married women's basements at 4 a.m. Not sure if we can pull that off. But if we do, then we are going to have a jolly good time, said Love, taking a last drink and placing on the railing. Totes can do it, said Rooney. If I was drinking, maybe, said Total, smiling. Ja. We wish you were coming, Rune, said Bobby. There are probably standby tickets. Nah, you know I'm on suicide shift, he said with a pouty pursed lip. Mom's Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Not much free time. He already forgot a very important fact as he drinks himself silly, added Huey out of the corner of his mouth. Ha. All right, guys, be safe, said Steph. Leifer followed them out with the guitar as he continued to sing in a raspy voice, his eyes closed and trying to hold in his laughter. I left the East for a West Coast beauty, a girl who burned my thoughts like kisses. She was down by the street decree. She swore she'd pull my best years out of me. Fat painted lips on a live wire beauty. A tangerine girl with tambourine eyes. Her face was my favorite magazine. Her body was my favorite book to read. Huey joined in. Drink in left hand, high in the air, right hand on heart. Voice crackling out of tune like a gangly adolescent laughing between every line and choking on his drink. Holding on to you means letting go of pain, means letting go of tears, means letting go of rain, means letting go of what's not real. Holding on to you. Whoa, yelled Rooney, sitting on the railing and taking another sip. The girls joined in arm as they swayed, and the boys climbed into the cab smiling and headed to the airport. Holding on to Yahoo, holding on to Yahoo, holding on to Yahoo. Will you miss my pussy? They waved to the cab as it drove away. Rune and Huey took another drink. Lefevre strummed the guitar one last time as the dog ran out to the edge of the yard, barking its lungs out like a wolf howling at the moon. Total looked out the window to see a congregation of Filipinos lining up to go into a Catholic church, as Orthodox Jewish people with their long black robes, beards and hats walked past with their families. Funny, eh? Asked Total aloud. What is? Said Love. When I lived in Korea, there was a foreigner town. So I come back to Toronto. There is Jewish town, Korea town, Little Italy, Japan, Chinatown. So what? There are a lot of towns. This happens everywhere. It's just interesting how Toronto is such a melting pot. Yet the oils and vinegars seem to always separate, like, you know, oil and vinegar. Love and Bobby just stared at him and shook their heads. I'm wondering what the separating factor is, asserted Total, his hands waving in the air. That's 'cause they are from the same place. So they create the same thing here in Toronto. Your man. Same, added Love. Huh, said Total as he spat and then peeled a hair off his tongue. What terminal are you in, sirs? Said the cabbie, looking in the rear-view mirror at Love and Total, and then, Terminal 1. It's Air Maple, said Bobby in a serious tone. nibbling at his bottom lip and clutching his carry-on bag. "I thought you hated Air Maple," said Love. "I did," replied Total, looking out the window and massaging his thumb deep into his palm. "Remember on your way back to Korea? It was in the hangar for 5 hours waiting for clearance. Or when you were flying back home to Capreol, and it turned back around to Toronto because of rain," added Bobby. "Or how you had to buy a return ticket to get into Japan, even though your school said a one-way was okay," said Love, laughing. "Then you had to buy a return ticket for Teletour 400, said Bobby. "Wow, what service?" "Well, we are flying Air Maple, because they now have plug-ins for computers, friendlier staff, free booze and comfy seats," said Total. "I can forgive. They have changed." "I thought you didn't drink," said Bobby. "Well, starting now, I'll stop," he said, clearing his throat. "But you guys can drink on the plane," he said with a forced smile. "Terminal 1 then," said the cabbie. "And yes, they have improvised our corporation and our reputation," said the taxi driver with a Middle Eastern accent. "They were the absolute worst airline at the time." "Yes, I bet you get lots of information being in the taxi business," added Love. "I know about other business," he said. "I come from the Middle East. Big business there. Many people business minds. But the trick, my sirs, is hard work. Maybe your expression is grind or something." "Yeah, my cousin is there teaching," said Total. "He is the ultimate grinder, so he definitely belongs there." Yes, maybe foreigners are in that area," said the cab driver. "When I was in medical school, I made friends with many people from all over the world. I met a nice Canadians there. He told me about this Toronto place, so I must came." "Well, welcome," said Total. "Are you enjoying it?" "Yes, I enjoy very much," answered the cabbie, looking back. "Beautiful country and people and laws. But I am a medical doctor, and I cannot get my license here. I need to go to school again. I need some politician to pass law to use my skill. I am better to the country as a doctor, not a cab driver." "You have to go to school again?" asked Love. "That's a rip." "Yes, my education in my home country does not count. I need to go to school again. But I can't afford, so I use my money to put my children to university. I must be a cab driver for my family. But I wish I could practice being a doctor, you know. I am useful that way." They pulled up to Terminal 1. $50, stated the cabbie. $50? You said it would be about 40. You grinded us, fooled us and bamboozled us, echoed Total. "Bobby, let's go. It's $10 and we need to catch a flight." They paid the man and headed toward check-in. "Passports and plane tickets, please," said TG front desk check-in. "Ma'am, could you make sure to put my air miles number in there so I can collect the miles?" asked Total. "Sure thing." They waited in the terminal for the plane. Total took out the book and started writing. "What are you doing, man?" said Bobby. "Writing," said Total. "Geez, that's quick." "Nothing happened yet. It's a poem for Father's Day." "Well, that's not part of the trip, is it?" said Love. "I wrote it on the last page. It doesn't matter," defended Total, his shoulders shrugged. "I see," said Bobby, leaning over to see the writing. "You forget to get your dad a gift. Now you ruined the book before we even started. I had nowhere else to write it. Besides, it doesn't ruin the book. The trip begins on Father's Day, and that's what the poem is about." "Then why did you put it in the back of the book?" "'Cause he knew he was doing something wrong and tried to hide it," suggested Love. Total looked at them and said, "You are lucky I'm even coming. We all knew you were coming." "Let me see," said Love, grabbing the book. "Mama bird swoops into the nest, mouth full o' worm. Chickadees greet her with whistles. Freight train chugs into the yard, amongst a wide yellow yawn, carrying a pair of exhausted hands. Gaia cooks. Bacon and eggs for Blue and the crew. With a hug and a kiss, they depart the yard. Sir cleans the beans and soup that was spilled. Madam dusts the chalk off the board for next lesson. The last lift to the top, into the light o' day. A sigh of relief before an evening date. Thea slaves with makeup and cloth in front of the mirror. As Apollo pumps up with his bottles and friends, they meet for a drink at the dance in the night. While a miracle awaits in the midst, Mother bird cuddles kinder. Below the cold, dark moon, anticipating adventure at morning mist. Father's Day? It's not about Father's Day. You kinda missed the point too obscure, said Love, handing the book to him, holding only the edge as the rest flopped over under its own weight. Total looked at him and shook his head and said, "You need to really read it. Father can be only a father if mother exists. You just have to stop being so difficult and artsy. You're a jock, not an artist." "Give me that," said Love, grabbing the book back. Reading a book is like keeping your head up in a hockey game. With your head up, you can see the whole ice and all things coming at you from different angles and perspectives. Whereas having your head down will just cause you to get clocked and possibly run into the boards. "Whatever," said Love, reaching for a pencil in his bag. Total continued. "Melt the ice and you can see the structure. Drain the pool and you see the pipes. Dam the river and you see the bed. Strip the house and you see the structure. Kiss and you have to stop the chatter. Keep it simple, stupid," said Love, attempting to write in the book. Isn't that what Big Total always preached when he coached dictated Love, blowing a kiss to Total and handing him the book? Total read out loud. "Sometimes the father cooks the bread. Other times he makes your bed. There are times he wipes your tears, pats your back, holds your head, charges your battery in the frozen shed. When his shift is over and energy dead." Total flashed a look of surprise, then a gentle smile. "Pretty smooth, Love. Lot of end rhyme, but pretty damn good. You guys are stupid," noted Bobby. "Letters, poems, and heartfelt messages are just another way of saying you forgot the date and you are cheap. People don't write poems for gifts anymore. This isn't romantic Rome, you meatballs." "Don't hate Bobby," said Love. "Here, let Daddy teach you two children," he said to them, leaning forward and counting on his fingers. "Step 1. You buy the gift high quality, not cheap. Step 2. Buy the card. Pre-written message handled by professionals writers, not PE teachers. Step 3. Sign a short message and your name in neat and clean handwriting. Done. Happy Father's Day. Love, son. That's poetry. Practical." Bobby continued arrogantly as he flipped to the front and signed his name on the inside cover, then gave it to Total. "Keep this signature. It will be worth something someday," taught Bobby Desler. Total grabbed the book, looked at Bobby's signature, and then wrote the book of chapters on adjacent first page in bubble letters and colored it in. He signed his name under Bobby's on the inside cover and handed it to Love to sign. Bobby Desler. Total recall. Mac Love.